All right, so welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we're going to be editing this picture. Basically, we're just going to be retouching it. Without wasting your time, let's go. So the method that we're going to be using in this video is called frequency separation. So what frequency separation is a method of editing or retouching pictures. So what's the difference between editing and retouching? Editing is minor, while retouching is like more detailed, right? Anyways, um, so I'm going to quickly run a frequency separation action, right? um Come here, click on basic, you can click on run. um then I'm going to select the radius. So the higher the radius, the more texture you keep on the image, right? As you can see in this image, the model here has a lot of texture on our skin. So if you want to keep that texture, then you have to like use a high radius, let's say from 6. The moment you can't see those textures again, it means that those textures are going to the high layer, which means you are retaining the textures. I hope you understand. So the look I'm going for in this image is to retain the texture, but not so much. So I'm going to go for like 6. You understand? So let's do 6, 6.5, 6.5. So as you can see, whatever is showing up here is going to go to the low layer, which is where we are going to blend with our mixer brush, and whatever you can't see here is moving into the high layer, which is going to remain our texture layer. I hope you understand. So we're going to click on OK. Now the image is going to come back. So if you turn off this frequency separation, you're not going to see any difference between the background layer and the frequency separation layer, because it's the same image, but we just separated them into 2 layers, which is our texture layer, which is this. As you can see, the texture. Then we have our low frequency layer, which some people like to call color layer, as you can see here. Okay, so what we're going to do now is you're going to come to our mixer brush, click on your brush to and come to mixer brush. So I'm going to show you my settings. So first thing I'm going to do, as you can see, yours might be showing this black bar here. Make sure you change it to clean brush, right? Clean brush. Then let this once you set this to a clean brush, right, most likely this is going to be depressed, right? As you can see, if I click this off, it's going to come back to black. If I click here and just click on this down arrow and select clean brush, that's all you need to do. Your words, you're going to make it 30. Your load, you're going to make it 30. Your mix, you're going to make it 30. The only thing I change, a lot of people use 30 30 30 all through, but the only thing I change is the flow. So what flow does is it controls how fast the color moves, because as you can what mixer brush does is it moves color. If you are moving colors too fast, it end up breaking the image. You understand? Depending on how fast you want to work. If you want to work really really fast, I would suggest you go between 15 and 20. But if you don't want to, if you are not in haste, 10, 8, 9 is good. So I'm going to use this as 10. Understand? Then this is your pressure, um your smoothing, brush smoothing. You can leave it at 10, leave it at 0. It doesn't really matter depending on your computer strength. If you have a very fast processor, you can take this to 20. It's going to make your brush strokes even smoother and better. But if you don't have, if your system is not a very powerful system, maybe leave it at 5, right? Okay, or maybe take it down to 0. That's why most times when some people are brushing, their system start to hook or start to drag. This is one of the reasons, right? So you're going to make sure that this sample layer is not checked, and then you're going to turn this off, right? The reason why I usually turn this off is because I want you to see what is happening, right? I want you to see what's happening on the image. So all right, so I think the error was I forgot to uncheck this, right? Make sure you uncheck this. Make sure you check this button, so to make sure that it's always a clean brush, right? So now I'm just going to increase my brush size. Another thing you should not do, which is what I was doing now, is don't zoom in too much to the image where you are while you are working on the skin, you can go like 50%, right? 100 maybe, like not too zoomed in on the image, right? Depending on the size of the image. So I'm just going to leave it like this, and we're going to brush. So the way I'm brushing, you can brush according to the shape of the face, right? Make sure you're brushing according to the shape of the face so that we don't distort the face. That means, as you can see, this area, the shape is I don't know how to call it, at an angle. So you're going to brush at an angle like that. As you can see, this part is dark, you're going to brush it accordingly. So I guess I'm going to speed up this part of this video so that it doesn't get so boring. If there's anything I think I need to talk about, I'll pause the speed and just tell you about it, right? Alright, so as you can see, this is before and this is after. So I really did not do anything much because I'm going for that natural feel, right? The image should look as natural as possible. I don't want the skin to be too smooth, right? Okay, so one last thing I'll do before I work on the blemishes, as you can see, there is this smile mark here. I'm going to come to my filter. I'm going to come to my filter. I'm going to come to image dynamic portraiture, and I'm just going to apply portraiture on the low layer so that it's softening out the skin a little bit more. So that's one thing I usually like. You can leave it like as it is, but usually I like to just have it, a little bit softened by portraiture. All right, so together this before and this is after, right? So this is before and this is after. So one thing I would like to fix now is the blemish. Now remember that we took a lot of the texture to the high layer, so which means that the blemish, the pimple on the faces and the smile mark are all going to be on the high layer. So this is one of the reasons why frequency separation is one of the best methods for retouching, because you can actually work on colors separately and work on the texture separately. So what I'm going to do now is just come to my patch tool and just on the high layer, right? On this high layer, just come and just patch the blemishes on the face. Most times when you are going for the natural, making the image look as natural as possible, you might want to leave a few of the blemish, but if you don't want to, you can still take everything out. So a lot of time people ask me like, okay, how do I get texture, get my image to have a lot of texture like this? The simple answer is two factors. Number one, natural factor, which means the subject that you are shooting, the subject you are photographing, the subject have texture on their face naturally. If they don't have texture on their face naturally, that they have smooth face, that their sweat holes or their pores are not showing, there's literally no way for you to add those things on their faces. Number two is how sharp is your lens, right? A sharp lens will probably bring more texture than a not so sharp lens. And also, what kind of lighting are you using? Are you using hard light? Are you using soft light? How soft is your light? If you are using a big multiplier, most likely you're going to get a lot of texture from the skin of your subject. So to get a lot of texture from the skin of your subject, you need to use hard light. You understand? You need to use lights that are a little bit hard. You understand? So that's how to get textures on the skin of your subject. It's not just about retouching. Retouching is actually making what you've captured a little bit better, not drastically changing. Right? maybe some people may have a lot of other way of looking at this, but from my experience, this is what I have discovered. Okay, so this is not the end of it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this background layer. I'm going to merge this together, right? So this is before and this after. I'm not satisfied with this image, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run the frequency separation action again. Right, I'm going to run it again. You understand? So most times this is the trick. You have to work in layer instead of fixing everything with one frequency separation process. You have to do it multiple times, right, to get to where you are going. Imagine, remember the first time I used like 6.5. Now I'm going to go a little bit lower to like 4, or let's do 5.2. Understand? So I'm just going to repeat the same process of Mr. Brush. Now the Mr. Brush setting is already set, right? Alright, so this is before the first, this after, before and after, just really little improvement. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run, basically just going to do the same thing. So did I know that I'm going to do frequency separation twice? Yes, I knew that to get the result I'm looking for, I have to do frequency separation twice. How do I know? It's just from my own experience, you understand? Just from my own experience, right? So yeah, that's how I knew that, okay, to get the result I'm going after, I need to do it twice, right? So here's before, this after. So this just softened out the whole image. You get, now I have the texture that I'm looking for, but the skin is still looking smooth, right? So now we're going to fix this eyes area. So I'm going to use the Mesa brush to kind of even out the skin tone here, right? So to have that, then we're going to come to the high layer. A lot of things we could do here, but let's just try the patch 2 and see if it will work. So we're just going to patch it. Let's see how that goes. Okay, it works. So most times you don't know how things are going to turn out, right, until you just try it and see, okay, oh, that works, right? So I'm going to write before and after, right? So probably do one. If I want to, I could do one more frequency separation just to fix this eye area, but I think that's what I'm going to do. Anyway, so this before and this after, I'm going to merge this, right? So far before and after, right? Let me see my progress. So what I'm going to do now is, like I said, run the frequency separation just to fix this eye area. So I'm going to take it a little bit down here because I want to fix it with Mesa brush. So come to Mesa brush and just reduce it like this. So I want it to be natural, right? So you have to be careful with stuff like this. So if you don't have access to this raw file, I'm going to be putting a link in the description where you can actually download and follow along, right? So this is before and after. Before and after, as you can see, I could have used dodge and burn to fix it also, but like I always say, there are more than one way to fix an error when you are trying to retouch or edit an image. So yeah, so one thing you can always see me do, I'm trying to check where I see an error. I'm checking to check which layer is this error in. Is it the low layer or is it the high layer, right? Anyway, so here we are, before and after. So before and after, generally, I could fix it. Let's just do Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. Let's fix this part. I mean, it can be a perfectionist like I am, or just ignore and move on. But sometimes some things just need fixing. Okay, so this issue is not on the low layer, the high layer. So come here and just do this. Let's see how it looks. So sometimes I can do frequency separation just to fix one particular area of an image, right? So frequency separation is it's a technique. It's not just because you want to smoothen out the skin. Sometimes you have an error and you use frequency separation to fix that error. You understand? So that's how it is. So if I want to smoothen out these edges, I can run the frequency because the problem I'm saying is not on the low layer, it's on the high layer. So I might run another frequency separation to bring that problem on the low layer so that I can fix it with the mixer brush. So that's just how to work with frequency separation. Probably will not do that because this video is getting too long already. So yeah, so can come here now. So let's just measure it down. The next step we're going to do is you can go straight to applying your LUTs. Let's just try that. Come to LUTs. By the way, if you don't have LUTs, you don't have a good LUT, you need good LUTs. You can also check the link on the description of the video to get access to my premium LUTs. Okay, so I can just come straight and check and see how this LUT is going to function. Remember, I'm going for a very natural looking image, but let's try this. I think this works, right? Yeah, this works. You're just going to adjust it a little bit, right? So one thing I can do is come to curve adjustment. Anyways, let me follow the plan that I have for this video. So what I'm going to do now is going to create a new layer, come to the brush and just highlight any area of the skin tone that you like, and change this to color. Now ignore these things I shown here, it's just my Photoshop doing what he knows how to do best. Alright, so now change this blend mode to color and come to your brush and just paint on the skin. So what you're doing is trying to even out the skin tone, right? So areas where the skin is not even, this works for when the makeup is not really nice, the makeup is not really even, right? You can use this to just even out the skin tone. In the past I used to use the gradient map to do it, but I just discovered that this method is faster and it gives similar result as the gradient map, right? So yeah, press X on my keyboard, not X, press come to erase and just take it away from here like this. I think it's in the eyes too, so take it away from where I don't want it to be. Alright, so you have to be careful with this so that it does not spill into the background. Come to the brush also, and you don't want it to. So the reason why this was showing like this was because this was showing white. So what I did was press X on my keyboard to bring this color to the foreground. So you have to be careful so that you don't paint on the eyeshadow that the makeup artist used, right? So come to the hand and just paint on it like this, just to even out the skin, the tones of the skin, right? Yeah, so come to eraser and take this out. Alright, so now you can actually reduce the opacity if you want and all that stuff. So let's ignore the eyes for now. It's disturbing my eyes, but let's just ignore that. So what we can come to do now is we can come to let's come to curves and create a little bit of contrast, right? A little bit of contrast on the image like this. Alright, so this before and this after. So curves just bring us colors. Now, do I want something I was not really able to decide? Do I want it to be bright or do I want it to be low key like as it is? Let's come to curves again. I come to mid-tone here and brighten it up and see how it looks. Alright, I think this is okay. So if you know how to color grade manually, you can continue and go to the color grade. But what I'm going to do is just to be fast is to use LUTs, right? Using LUTs is not just about if you know how to color grade, it's about making your process faster, right? So come here and choose color lookup, and let's choose one of these. Okay, now this works really well. Do it before and after, so I can reduce the opacity, right? Okay, so I can reduce the opacity, right? So I think I'll make a separate video on how to fix leaf. There's a lot of errors, a lot of things I could do have done in these leaves, but maybe I'll make it part 2 and show you how to fix it. Anyway, so practically we are done with this image, but let's go to hue and saturation, and then come to the yellows and maybe bring it down a bit and darken it a bit or lighten it depending on what you want. Then, but if you are not patient, you can also just add another LUT, right? Let's add this to just cool everything down. So as you can see here, we are looking all natural and clean, right? So this is the look I'm going for. So now let's work on the eyes. So we're just good. I'm just going to come to my essential. So if you don't have actions, you don't have LUTs, you can grab my own. Just click on the link in the description and go to my digital store and grab for yourself these actions and LUTs, right? So I'm just going to write in the eyes. So one thing, as you can see here, is over bright, right? It's too bright because for some reason I can't tell. So I'm just going to remove the eye and whatever brightness there. Then what I'm going to do is reduce the flow and paint back on it, right? So it does not get too bright. Alright, so I need to do a part 2 for this, so I'll show you how to retouch eyes and lip. But so far, let's merge everything, or let's group it. Right, so far this is before and this is after, right? Before and after. Okay, I hope you learned a lot. If there's any video you want me to make, just drop it on the comment section. And if you have not subscribed to this video, I think this is the best time for you to hit that like and subscribe button so that you can get notified and when I post more videos like this, especially the part 2 of this video, right? Yeah.